Welcome to Learning to Code with Scratch, the Scratch Toolbox tutorial series brought to you by Rise Robotics. Hey everybody, Lego Man Dan here. Welcome back to the Scratch Toolbox tutorial series. Today we're going to be actually getting into kind of building a little bit of a mini game. Today I want to show you how some of the motion blocks work. This lesson here will also be a two-part lesson. The first part of the lesson today will be taking you through how to add some sprites, how to make them interact. We're actually going to add a sound into this game. And then part two of this series will be how to create a scoreboard to keep track of a score in the game. So not only be able to get your sprites to interact, but also how to create a game that allows you to keep a score. So let's jump right into it. Again, if you have not gone through the rest of the tutorial series, I strongly suggest that you go back, watch the earlier episodes. That's going to give you a good handle on where to go. So when we do this lesson, you can just hit the ground running. Make sure you go ahead and watch those videos. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So again, we're on the Scratch homepage. We're going to go ahead and click Create, and that's going to bring us into our main editor. We're going to go ahead and click Close. For this game, we're actually going to delete Sprite Cat. So I'm going to click X. I'm going to go ahead and click Delete. We're going to add two sprites for this game. One sprite is going to be from the sprite catalog. So we're going to go ahead and click Search. We're going to go up here to the search bar, and I'm going to click Dog. Now, you could pick anything you want here. I'm picking Dog 2 and adding him to my screen. The second sprite we're going to add is one we're actually going to paint. So like we showed in the previous episode, you can go over here, click on the little paintbrush. That takes you to an empty one. So what I want to do is create a biscuit for the dog to be able to go and catch. So I'm going to go over here to my circle, click on it. I'm going to drag over, and create a circle. Now, I don't want a purple cookie. We could do that. And again, you can pick whatever kind of color you want. I want a cookie-looking cookie. So I'm going to go a little bit tannish brown for my base. Then I'm going to go over. I want to make sure I set it to no outline because I want the cookie to actually look like a cookie. So I'm going to make sure no outline is selected for both. That should make it look a little more like a regular cookie. Whoop, there we go. So, and if I don't get the colors I want, I can go back to my fill and reset the color that I want and make sure my cookie is filled the right way. Whoop, there we go. A little bit darker cookie. So now what I'm going to do is go to fill, set it all the way to black, and I want some little chunks in here. Now they can't be chocolate chunks because obviously dogs can't eat chocolate. So these are very dog safe chunks of whatever. And I'm going to drop some pictures in there. You can see I actually made my paintbrush a little darker to make sure that they're very noticeable. Now, if you look over here in my emulator, my cookie's like 6 times bigger than the dog. Obviously, that's not going to be good. So we're going to go ahead and resize the cookie. We're going to go over here to the size and reset it. Let's try 50%. See what that's still a little big. Let's try 20%. That looks more like a cookie the dog could eat and he would enjoy. So we're going to go with that. So once I've got that done, I'm going to go back up here to the Code tab, click Code, and then we're going to start building code for everything. So first thing I want to do, if you notice down here, dog 2 is probably okay for the name of the dog, but I don't want to call my cookie sprite 1. If I end up with 100 cookies in here or 100 different items in here, I don't want them all to be called sprite this, sprite that. So we're actually going to rename it to cookie. And that's going to make a difference when we go in and do the code. To do the code, we're going to go in first and click on events. And what I want is when green flag clicked. For the Scratch program, when green flag clicked is effectively starting your game. You will notice up here there is a green flag and a red stop. Green means go, red means stop. So when the green flag clicked, what do we want to do when the green flag clicks? In this game, I want when the green flag is clicked to be able to start controlling the dog. Right now, you see if I move my mouse over here, nothing really happens. Even if I click the green flag, nothing happens. So I want to add some code to make sure I can move the dog. So I'm going to go over here to the blue motion circle. I'm going to grab this block. The block we're going to be talking today is about the go to block. Okay, so right now I'm going to grab out go to random position, but I don't want the dog to actually go to a random position. I'm going to click on this arrow and I'm going to tell the dog to go to the mouse pointer. So when I click my green flag, whoop, we put that in the cookie. See, This was, if you remember from the other videos, I talked about wherever you put the code, that's what's going to react. So I had cookie highlighted when I built this code. So good mistake. It's going to give me a chance to demonstrate something to you guys. And that's the ability to copy code from one sprite to another. So right now I've got this code in my sprite for the cookie, but I actually wanted my dog sprite. So all I have to do, grab the code here with my mouse, hold my left mouse button down, go over to my dog, click on it, and release the button, and now you can see dog has the same code as cookie, which we'll change the cookie code in a bit. But right now, I've got it already set up. It says go to mouse pointer. I'm going to go over here to the cookie, and I'm just going to disconnect that because I don't want them both going to the mouse pointer. Now when I go up here and click the green flag, my dog goes right to the mouse pointer. But if you notice, he still can't move. There's a reason for that. Every time I click the green flag, it runs through the code. If there's nothing to tell the code to keep looking at, mouse pointer, it's just going to say, oh, we send it there, and then we're done. So one of the things we're going to do is create what is called a loop. A loop says in the code, check for things over and over again. I'm going to put a forever loop in. So I'm going to go over here, click on control, grab the forever loop. This means no matter how long the game is running, always check to see where the mouse pointer is. Okay, there are different types of loops. I can repeat things for a limited amount of time. I can ask questions, and we'll get into loops and statements another time. But for now, just remember, forever loop happens as it says forever. So now if I go ahead and click the green flag, now you'll notice wherever I move the mouse, the little blue puppy follows. Wherever he goes, I go, my puppy. So you can see he's just going to keep moving around the room. Even if I bring him over to the biscuit, yeah, the cookie, he doesn't care, right? He's not interested in that. Even he was going to follow me all the way up till I hit the red stop. And now he doesn't follow me anymore because I stopped the code, okay? So now we're going to go over and we're going to code the cookie. So in this code, I want to do a couple of different things. So let's go ahead and click on the cookie. Again, if we didn't, we'd be putting our cookie code on the dog. So we don't want to do that. I go over here, I click on cookie. So we've already got our when green flag clicked. We want to go to the mouse pointer, but we don't actually, we want to use the go to block, but we don't want to go to the mouse pointer. Here we want to go to a random position. I want the dog to chase the cookie. But again, it'll only do it once unless I put it in this forever loop. So the nice thing is if I go and I grab my forever loop and I drop it there, it'll always go to a random position. If I hit the green flag, now it's kind of going to a random position crazily. And we don't really want that. Obviously, I want my dog to be able to catch it, and there's no way I'm going to drive the dog crazy if I do it like that. We got to add a little more code in. We got to give it some information to know when it's going to change. So we've got it going to a random position. We're going to stay in this control area, but we're going to go down and look for this block that says wait until. So now it's going to go to a random position, and it's going to wait until I give it another instruction. In this case, I want the dog to go ahead and eat the cookie. So I'm going to tell it, wait until the dog is touching the cookie. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to go over here to sensing. I'm going to grab the block that says touching mouse pointer. And I'm going to drag that over, drop it in place. But I want to say when it's touching the cookie, or when it's touching the dog, sorry, when the cookie is touching the dog. So I'm going to do the drop down, I'm going to go to dog 2. So go to a random position and wait there until the dog is touching me. For the cookie's just sitting there going, hey, I'm going to stand here until a dog wanders along, tries to eat me. Now what we're going to do, obviously we want the dog to have a reaction. We're going to go up here to sounds. And right now the default sound is pop, but I don't want that. I actually want my dog to go chomp. So we click on sounds, just like we have over here for sprites and backgrounds. We have one where we can search for a sound. In this case, I want the sound chomp. Not sure if you guys can hear that. That's our chomp sound. So we're going to go ahead and select chomp. Once you've got the sound you want, go ahead and go back. Whoop, I didn't select it. I just clicked on it. All right, so once you find sound chomp, click on it. Now you can see it's added it to our list of sounds for our game. We're going to leave it selected. We know it's selected because it's highlighted in purple. Now when I go back to the code, I can see all my code. Going to go here to the sound tab, play sound chomp until done. Okay, and when we get into sounds a little more, we'll get into starting a sound, stopping a sound, things like that. But now, if I go ahead and click my green flag, My dog is being controlled by my mouse pointer. You notice that the cookie jumped to a random spot and then stopped. Let's see what happens when the dog touches it. He's sniffing. He goes, yeah, it looks like a good biscuit. I'm going to eat that. He ate it, and then where'd it go? It went to a new spot. Because it's in the forever loop, it played the chomp sound, then it jumped to a random spot. Ooh, got 2 cookie bites there. All right, so everywhere I move the dog, he's now eating a cookie. But if we wanted to keep track of how many cookies he eats, maybe we do a timed game. How many cookies can you eat in 60 seconds? That's a great question. And if you tune into the next episode, I'm going to show you how to add the scorecard so you can keep track of just how many cookies your dog ate. Thank you for tuning in. Comment below if there's something you would like to see us add to the series. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can keep up on all our latest coding and robotics activities.